What is going on, everybody? Today's video topic is a great one, so make sure that you are somewhere where you can watch this video in full. Grab pen, notepad, piece of paper, because you're going to want to follow along with this and take some notes. So today's topic is going to be about how you can actually make a meal plan that aligns with your calorie and protein goals. So let's get right into it. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to take a look at this worksheet that I've sort of put together. So, with any successful diet or fat loss phase or even a bulking phase, it's all going to start with your calories and your protein. As we've talked about before, I've talked a lot about on X and Twitter that you need to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight or body fat, and you have to eat sufficient protein to make sure that you are losing body fat and not muscle mass. These are just the fundamentals of setting up a successful diet, so make sure that you are doing your fundamentals correctly. So you're going to start this whole thing with your calorie and your protein goal. If you're working with me, I've calculated that for you. And if you are just interested in running a dieting phase or any type of more macro focused plan, you can go online and use a BMR calculator in order to calculate your calories as well as your protein. So for this example, we're just going to use 2,000 calories and 160 grams of protein. Now, the truth is most Americans would lose weight with these calories and protein goals. Some exceptions would be if you're super, super sedentary, you probably would not lose weight on these calories. Or if you are a very petite woman, you would not probably lose weight on these calories. But even for myself, I am only 5'2". I am not very tall. I can lose weight on 2,000 calories and 160 grams of protein as long as I remain moderately active, nothing crazy, but just getting my 10K steps a day. So if you are obese or overweight, you can definitely probably lose weight on these calories. Now, the calorie goal is a maximum. So we have to stay under our calorie goal. But the protein goal, on the other hand, is a minimum. So we have to get at or above our protein goal in order to guarantee success. Now, once you've got your calorie and protein goal, we're going to move on to step 2, which is finding your ravenous window. This is the time during the day that you're the hungriest, that you just want to eat, and all you can think about is food. Now, everybody's going to be a little bit different with this. Some people are going to get hungry first thing in the morning, other people in the middle of the day, and other people in the evening. So just go ahead and write down your schedule just like this by the hour. So when you wake up, then the next hours, and then when you go to sleep. And then go ahead and highlight, just like I did, or circle when you are hungriest. For me, I tend to be hungriest between 6 and 8 o'clock p.m. And we're going to actually structure this diet so that you're getting the most amount of calories when you are the most hungry. This is important to make our diet sustainable because we don't want to be hungry and miserable. So once you've thought about this and thought about when you would like to eat your biggest meals and when you're the hungriest, go ahead and move on to step 3. We're going to outline how many meals per day you're going to eat. So for this example, I just did 3 meals per day. I do suggest around 3 meals a day for sustainability because then you don't have huge amounts of food a couple times a day. You can eat more, you can eat less meals per day. That is entirely up to you. But 3 meals a day is pretty much a solid place to start. Your biggest meal is going to be your ravenous window. So that is when the most of our calories are going to be in. And for this example, what I suggest is having a low calorie meal, a medium calorie meal, and a high calorie meal. This is just what I've found has the most amount of success with myself and my clients. For me, since I get hungriest at around this 6 to 8 o'clock window, what I like to do is I like to make sure that I'm way, way, way under my calorie goal by the time I'm rolling into 6 o'clock so that I can eat a little bit more if I am a little bit more hungry. So I structure my day with a low calorie meal, a medium calorie meal, and a high calorie meal. Now, working with that 2,000 calories, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work backward. So my lowest calorie meal, I want to be less than a quarter of my daily calories. So I just went with 400 calories here. My medium calorie meal, I want it to be a little bit higher in calorie, a little higher in volume. So I gave myself the range of 600 to 700 calories here. And my high calorie meal is basically going to be whatever's left over. So I gave myself 900 to 1,000 calories for this higher calorie meal. That's going to be a pretty substantial meal. It's going to leave me feeling satisfied and I won't be hungry. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to assign protein to these meals. So for my low calorie meal, I'm wanting at least 40 grams of protein, but really 40 to 60 grams of protein would be fantastic. Anything more than 40 would be great while still staying under that 400 calorie mark. For my medium calorie meal, I'm going to assign protein as well. I like these low and medium calorie meals to be very high in protein, again, so I have a little more flexibility when it comes time to that high calorie meal, so that I have almost most of my protein goal can actually be done by the time I'm getting to that high calorie meal, so that I have a little bit more food freedom. But we definitely want to be getting substantial protein earlier in the day for our energy levels and making sure we don't get too hungry. And then lastly, we're going to assign the rest of our protein goal to our higher calorie meal, just to make sure we're getting to that number. So if you add it up, even the lowest number here, 40, 60, and 60, we are going to be at that 160 grams of protein minimum. Now, the next step here is we're going to place these meals in your day based on your hunger levels. So for me, I'm not very hungry in the morning, so I put my lowest calorie meal here. And then I get a little more hungry in the afternoon, so I put a medium calorie meal here. And as I've mentioned before, I get hungry at night, so I went ahead and put my highest calorie meal here at night. Now, you may have heard before, don't eat before bed or something like that. And ultimately, that is a strategy that people will use to just make sure that people are in a caloric deficit and eliminate evening snacking. But the truth is, as long as you track your calories, you can still lose weight even if you eat right before going to bed. So really pay attention to your body and don't try and fit your diet into a category that doesn't necessarily fit you. So if you're somebody like me and you're hungry at night, don't try to only eat in the morning, because that's just not going to be very sustainable. Now, the next step, here's where most of our work is going to happen. We're going to fill in low, medium, and high calorie meals with options. You're going to want to start with 2 to 5 options for each meal and make sure that you are staying under your calorie goal and over your protein goal. So here for low calorie meals, these are usually my breakfasts. I don't really change these up a lot. I like to keep these fairly consistent so that I just start the day the same way and make sure that I'm getting a good chunk of protein in before I am getting out the door. So my first option here is a Greek yogurt bowl. This is going to just have 2 Oikos 000 Greek yogurts, a scoop of whey protein, and a cup of frozen berries. This is fantastic because it's bringing me 55 grams of protein for only 370 calories. So lots of protein here, getting a jump start on my protein goal and keeping the calories nice and low. Now, my next option here is a breakfast scramble. We got 2 eggs, a cup of egg whites, turkey sausage patty, and half an ounce of reduced fat cheese. I just like to scramble all this up, add the cheese. This is delicious as well. 398 calories, 52 grams of protein. So another way to have a low calorie, high protein start to my day. Now for my medium calorie meals, remember these have a minimum of 60 grams of protein and around 600 to 700 calories. But again, if these meals are a little bit lower than that, I'm not going to sweat it because that just means we get a bigger meal for dinner. So my first option here is some Verde chicken tacos. What I like to do is I like to cook some chicken breasts in some green salsa in the crock pot, nice and low for 8 hours. And then this is my prep for the week. I add some salsa onto the tacos once I've made them. I get 3 street taco corn tortillas. The corn tortillas are a lot lower in calorie than flour tortillas, so I highly recommend eating those if you were trying to lose fat. A bell pepper cooked in avocado spray and half an onion cooked in avocado spray. Avocado spray will also save you a lot of calories because 1 spray of that is 10 calories, whereas a tablespoon of olive oil is 120 calories. So use cooking spray when you can. That's just a little dieting hack I have for you. That whole meal is 594 calories and 73 grams of protein. So we're definitely hitting our goals there. Next meal is a cheeseburger. Now remember, eating healthy doesn't have to be boring. I eat tacos, burgers all the time. So next meal that I have for myself is 8 ounces of 93.7 beef, 1 to 2 patties, whatever size I'm kind of feeling like. I'm just going to cook that up, and I'm going to use a regular store-bought hamburger bun. Usually the store-bought ones are around 140, 145 calories. So do make sure you check the calorie label before you buy it, but usually those are actually not very high in calories. I add a couple tablespoons of sugar-free barbecue sauce. That's usually going to be maybe 10 calories. A slice of low-fat Swiss. Low-fat cheese is great because it's primarily protein with a little bit of fat, or maybe a little bit of carb, depending on the brand you use. But it's just a great way to add a little extra protein without too many extra calories. Lettuce, tomato, and onions as well to top off the burger and get some vegetables in there. So this cheeseburger, when all is said and done, is going to add up to 522 calories for 63 grams of protein. So you could literally eat a cheeseburger like this if you make it yourself and make it high protein every single day and lose fat. Now, my third option here is a high protein pasta and meat sauce. I know a lot of people love pasta, and pasta gets demonized in the fitness world because you can have lots of carbs and fats. But if you make it yourself and are mindful of portions, it doesn't have to be that way. So what I like to do is start with 1 serving of the Banza chickpea pasta. That's about a quarter of the box. I'm going to go ahead and boil that up. Then in a pan, I'm going to cook 8 ounces of 93.7 ground beef. That is my main source of protein. I'm going to add half a cup of Rao's marinara sauce. Also a pretty low calorie marinara without too many bad ingredients. Big fan of that brand. And then for a little extra volume, I like to add some vegetables like spinach, broccoli, onions, maybe even carrots. All those are going to work really well there. So just go ahead and throw those in with your beef and your marinara sauce. And then when all is done, you can combine the pasta and the marinara sauce. And this is going to be a total of 630 calories and 60 grams of protein. This is going to be a great midday protein hit with some carbs. Great stuff, tastes delicious as well. You can use any type of sauce you'd like, as long as it's a red sauce. Cream sauces are going to be a little bit higher calorie, but as long as it fits into these standards of 60 protein and 600 to 700 calories, you can add whatever meals in here that you would like. Now, lastly, I've got my higher calorie meal options. These meals have to have 60 grams of protein and then, be below 1,000 calories so that I'm not going over my calorie goal. My first option, classic steak and potatoes. Got a 12-ounce New York strip steak. Again, you're wanting to choose some leaner meats. Chances are you can't really eat ribeyes every day and lose a lot of fat. You can work those in occasionally, but it probably can't be a daily staple for you. So we've got 12 ounces of New York strip steak, seasoned and grilled, a couple russet potatoes chopped, roasted in a tablespoon of olive oil, and 1 to 2 cups of vegetables of choice. Make sure and cook those in avocado spray and not olive oil to save yourself some calories there. Another great resource to use is the grill, because if you are grilling things, you don't have to use any olive oil or butter to cook them like you would have to a traditional steak. So the grill is going to be a great tool to cut down on a little bit of that oil as well and keep foods lower calorie. So that big steak and potato meal is going to only be 870 calories and is going to have 83 grams of protein, more than enough to put me over my goal. My next option here is beef barbacoa tacos. I like to cook a beef chuck tender roast in my crock pot. What I'll do is I'll add some chili and adobo to that. That's pretty much a 0 calorie as well because chilies are very low calorie. I'm going to use 4 street taco corn tortillas and 4 ounces of guacamole, as well as some onions and peppers that are cooked in avocado spray. So in total, these barbacoa tacos are going to be delicious, and they're going to be 842 calories and a whopping 75 grams of protein. So as long as you are, again, fitting things into your calorie goals, you can eat pretty much whatever you want. Now, my third dinner here that I'm going to rotate through is paprika chicken thighs with avocado crema and sweet potatoes and vegetables. So for the paprika chicken thighs, I'm going to get boneless, skinless chicken thighs. These are important for making sure that they are a little higher protein and a little lower fat to go with boneless, skinless chicken. I'm going to cook this with paprika, red chili pepper, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic powder. I'm going to throw it on the grill as well if I can. And now if I don't have access to a grill, I can go ahead and roast it in the oven with a little bit of olive oil. But make sure to measure out the olive oil as well when you're cooking because the calories from cooking oils do add up. Then I'm going to make a crema. I'm going to make this in the blender. I'm going to use half a cup of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, half of a medium avocado, some cilantro, some lime, some salt and pepper, and a couple cloves of garlic. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that up and make a nice little crema dipping for my paprika chicken. And then what I'll do is I'll chop 400 grams of sweet potatoes. I'll roast that in half a tablespoon of olive oil. And then I can go ahead and saute some vegetables of choice using the avocado spray. In total, this will be around 988 calories and 87 grams of protein. So this is going to be also another really solid high protein meal. So once you've outlined a few meals for each of your categories of low, medium, and high calorie meals, you can just prep for the week and determine which ones you're going to eat. And as long as your meals stay within these protein and calorie goals, you can make any sort of combination of these and be right on target with your calorie and protein goal. So choose one meal from each category per day to get a little bit of variety in your diet if that's what you're looking for. And by following this, you're going to be able to easily know exactly what you're eating in calories and protein and hit your goals. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me any comments or anything like that. I'd be happy to address any questions you may have. My DMs are open, my comment section is open. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to make this a bit more clear. And any feedback you have on this video would be greatly appreciated. I really wanted to kind of get into the weeds here and show you exactly how I make myself a meal plan, because ultimately we want our diet to be sustainable and delicious. So this is how I make sustainable and delicious diets easy, by doing a little bit of extra planning and making sure that you don't go hungry and you don't get bored of your diet. So please let me know what you thought in the comments. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you in the next one.